Your life is not working out now. Now, is it? Yeah, that's right. Your life is not working out.
You are off course and don't know what to do about it. That's right, you don't know what to do about it. You've tried programs, you've started them, and then after a few days or a few weeks, you are off course because you have no way to keep yourself accountable. There's no system for accountability to keep you on track. But let me tell you a very unsettling fact. No matter how bad things are, they can get worse. That's right. No matter how bad things are, they can get worse. You have dreams. You have big dreams. You have big dreams about the relationship you would have. You have big dreams about the house you would have. You have big dreams about the relationships, the experiences, the vacations, all of that. And now, well, you've given up on those dreams. They're no longer something you're working for, that you're striving for. That's right. There's some things that you are not striving for anymore. But let me tell you, there's an interrelationship between family, fitness, and finance that most people don't understand. That's right. Problems in one area spill over into problems into other areas. The things that couples argue about the most, are sex and money. That's right, sex and money. Maybe you are in a no-sex marriage, or infrequent or unfulfilling sex. A lot of couples are in that position. Now, at one time, you and your significant other, your wife, you guys were on fire. That's right, you were on fire. She wanted you and you wanted her. And you had sex. And maybe sex in some scary and exciting places. Maybe sex in the bathroom of a restaurant. Sex in the car. Sex in the woods. Sex in your office, on your desk. Or maybe sex in your in-laws' house, on that creaking bed that they keep creaking on purpose. Yeah, there was that time. But now, when you say, I want more sex, and maybe you do that a little bit entitled because, well, you have a marriage license or you've been together for a number of years. So you say, I want more sex. And she looks at you and says, I'm not in the mood, or I'm too tired. Or, well, she may just say nothing and give you that look like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? And there you are, well, feeling rejected, depressed, and maybe a little anger. And you wonder what happened. But that is the wrong question to ask. What happened is the wrong question to ask. Now, on some occasions, well, maybe you get her drunk or you just nagged her enough that she says, okay, I'll give you sex. But that sex is not particularly good sex. That's right. Mercy sex is not particularly good sex. Because in that case, most of the time she's just laying there passively with your penis in her vagina. She's taking one for the team. That's right. She's taking one for the team. And by the way, mercy sex is not particularly good sex because there's nothing less appealing to a woman than a man who gives up his power by begging for sex. Consequently, it doesn't happen very often. Now some of you may be thinking, you know what? Maybe I need to get a divorce or I need to break up and I need to find someone who understands me. That's right, you're looking for someone who understands you. Well, the reality of it is that the main person who needs to understand you is you, and you don't get you. That's why when people move from one relationship to another, they essentially end up in the same place with a different person who really is the same person as the one before, they just have a different name. Because you brought you with you, the same you, and created the same relationship again. As the saying goes, wherever you are, there you go. And that's why people repeat those mistakes on a continual basis. Now, you say you want more sex. That's right, you say you want more sex. But in actuality, what you're craving is spiritual, emotional, and physical intimacy. It's more than just a penis and a vagina. That's right. It's more than just a penis and a vagina. You want that relationship. Now, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Great lyric to a song. Brings a smile to just about every guy's face. But all it is vaginal masturbation. What you're saying to that significant other is, I just want to use your vagina for a few minutes, and when I'm done, well, you can have it back. A little bit used, but it's yours to keep. That's not going to create the relationship you're looking for. That type of behavior is not going to create spiritual, emotional, and physical intimacy. Some of you men may not be aware that the reason that a woman may not want to have sex is the fact that sex is uncomfortable or it actually hurts her. That's right. For many women, especially as they get older, sex becomes very uncomfortable. And I know many of us, well, we use lubricants. We use lubricants all the time. But if you're buying that lubricant at a big box store, I will tell you that there's lots of chemicals in there that on a long-term basis will dry out a woman's vagina and make sex even more uncomfortable in the future. And we talk about that in the Standard Academy. We talk about things like that matter and give you solutions to the challenges that you may face. Or your situation, things may be good. That's right, very good. You got a smile on your face and things are going along. You know, you got sex maybe a couple times a week, 3 times a week. Who knows? Maybe it's really wild. You're still having sex once a day or more. But you're taking things for granted. And next thing you know, because you're not paying attention, well, things go from very good to good. Oh, sex not as often. And then they go to fair, and then they go poor, and they go shit show. And that's because you haven't been paying attention. You've been coasting. And that's how that happens. You stop paying attention and stop caring. Now, some of you may also have, well, friends that you complain to about, or maybe you don't talk to anyone about. A lot of times guys will get together and start complaining about the lack of sex in their relationship. They have their own little pity party. That's right, they have their own little pity party. And it's a death spiral. It's a bunch of guys that don't have a clue about how to get out of that situation, how to create the vibrant relationship they want. And they talk amongst themselves, and they give each other advice that's totally useless because they don't know how to achieve that vibrant relationship. You might as well go into a fast food place and pick out the fattest person in there and start asking them for health advice. That's right. That's the value of their advice to you. Stop listening to those men. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. Stop listening to them. What needs to happen? What needs to happen for you to schedule a discovery call?
I think the United States is in a severe lack of men like Dr. Orest. Through the years I've known him, Dr. Orest has coached me to uphold traits that were once commonplace in this country, but are scarcely found nowadays. He preaches a philosophy of fortitude of ideals and spirit, of speaking your mind without pandering to your audience, of standing firm when a majority is against you. The idea of thinking this way is praised everywhere by both individuals and conglomerates, but very rarely is it ever shown by those who preach it, and even rarer that the people who do speak out against the majority do it with respect. I listen to Dr. Orest not because he's older, not because he shouts the loudest, but because he has the balls to look me in the eye and say, "You are wrong, and here's why," while still treating me with dignity and respect.
What happens is that you accept the status quo. That's right, you've accepted the status quo, but the status quo doesn't hold. You are either getting better or you're getting worse. And yeah, things have happened. You've had kids, you have financial issues, work, all sorts of stuff, maybe some physical stuff. But the biggest thing is often you can't articulate clearly what you want. And so consequently, you don't get what you want. And can you articulate what she wants? Can you? Now, issues in your family, in your relationship, spill over into your business life. That's right. You may think they don't, but they actually do. So you go to the office to work, but you may be a little short with your employees, clients, or fellow workers and not even know about it. And there's always the temptation too. There you are, staring at your co-worker's ass. That's right. Got a cute one. And you want to go over there and grab her. You got all these fantasies and you're staring at her. And all of a sudden she turns around and she looks at you and catches you staring at her. She smiles. You smile back. And you wonder, what does that mean? Does she want me? Does she like me? Can we have sex right here in the office? Right at my desk? In the lunchroom? What? But as I said, no matter how bad things are, they can get worse. Next thing you know, you got a visit from HR. Well, you know that's never pleasant. Or maybe you get served papers by her lawyer for sexual harassment in the workplace. That happens too. That happens too. You've lost your drive because it does not matter at home what you do. So why should you make more money, provide more for her and your kids? Why? Why should you? That's right. You know, some men actually go in a different direction. That's right. They go in a different direction. They go to the office and work harder. That's right. They work harder. They spend more time in the office. They're known as the guys who get stuff done, gets the projects done, brings in the money, brings in the clients. You are admired and appreciated at work. Unlike at home, where you get neither admiration or appreciation. That's right. So you spend more time in the office. You are the superhero at the office. That's right. Everyone looks up to you. But what happens when you come home? Well, it's a different world. It's a different world because you don't get that admiration, that appreciation. That's right. You come home and, well, the tension level is really high because you haven't been spending time at home. So there's very little communication. You are distant from your significant other. And the tension level, as I said, is very high. It may be a 5 or a 4 to walk in. So it's really easy for one of you or both of you to get into an argument very quickly. Yeah, happens. Just snap. And maybe over something that's totally insignificant. But you guys are so amped up. You are so amped up that anything triggers a fire. Yeah. So you come home and maybe you decide, you know what? I'm just going to my little corner. I'm going to go sedate. Maybe have a little smoke. Used to call it mellow yellow in my days. I don't know if they call it mellow yellow. I'm aging myself with that statement. It's a song by Donovan. Or maybe you have a drink. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's right. Or maybe you just go ahead and, well, turn on some porn and masturbate. Well, that definitely won't improve your relationship. Or you may just have those drinks, as I said before, and just fall asleep in front of the TV, only to repeat that vicious cycle again. Now, some of you may go in a whole totally different direction. That's right. You may go in a whole totally different direction. You may go to the gym and work out all the time. You like it. You like those endorphins that you get when you work out all the time. And of course, there's the scenery. There's the scenery in the gym. The MILFs, they're all over the place. And there they are in the Lululemon leggings. Yeah, really tight leggings. With the sports bra, with the nipples that protrude that you can see through the fabric. And you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I want some of that. The challenge is all that extra time that you spend in the gym takes away from time at home. Now, I go to the gym often, several times a week. I work out every day of the week, but it takes time. And if you do it too much, it takes away a lot of time from your home life. And so again, there's a tension when you show up at home. There's a huge tension that feeds into itself and grows over time, where little things that have gone wrong in the past get magnified into big things because they've been occurring so often. Maybe at one time you were a stud athlete, or maybe just a guy who just kept in shape, or never really were healthy. Regardless, you don't feel good about yourself, about how you look and how you feel. You've probably put on some pounds. That's right. Or maybe you don't have a lot of muscle mass and your shoulders are slumping and you don't know what to do about it. You don't feel particularly attractive and you wonder maybe she doesn't want me because of how I look. You look in the mirror and you see yourself and you're not happy with what you see. There you are, the man boobs, the dad bod. Yeah, not a pleasant sight. And you wonder, what happened to me? How did I get here? Again, that is the wrong question to ask. You may also be on the verge of being a diabetic. Maybe you put on so much weight that your doctor is warning you that if you don't take care of yourself, you are going to become a diabetic. You worry about your blood pressure. You worry about your heart. You're worried about your cholesterol. You're worried about inflammation. And what's all this stuff about gut health, you wonder? Do I have to worry about that too? Yeah. Now, I'm speaking from experience. There was a time in my life that I was fat. Yeah, fat. Fat is a word that we're not supposed to use. But I don't care. I'm not really into all that woke nonsense about the problem of fat shaming. Now, I was fat. At one point in my life, my waist was outpacing my age. I was built like a beach ball. I was round. I kept on buying larger and larger sizes of clothes. And I not only did that, but I didn't groom myself. I didn't do any manscaping. I didn't take care of myself. I wasn't clean. I wasn't attractive. And I realized something had to change. Something had to change in me. And maybe you're at that point. Maybe you're at that point. So let me ask you, what needs to happen for you to take action and schedule a discovery call? Now, not being in shape, well, you may think, well, that's just not being in shape. But it spills over into other areas of your life. And again, I'm speaking here from personal experience. Because not being in the shape causes a lot of men to have erectile dysfunction. Yeah, lots of guys don't like to talk about it. When I bring this subject up sometimes at a party, the room gets really quiet because no one wants to admit that they have erectile dysfunction. And I had issues in that area. I had significant issues in that area. So I went to my doctor. He gave me pills. That's right, pills. To take 5 milligrams. Okay, 5 milligrams. Well, after a while, those pills don't work as well as they used to. So next thing you know, you go from 5 to 10. So yeah, you can double up. 10 to 20. Okay. Well, 20 to 40 may be a jump, but let's go 20 to 30. And then go 30 to 40. Every time you jump up. But there's treatments out there for you. There's treatments that work that most men don't know about. Again, we talk about that in the Standard Academy. Now, this ED has all sorts of ramifications that many men don't know about. That's right, many men don't know about. There's nothing worse, and again, I'm speaking from experience, there's nothing worse for a man than laying there next to his significant other after not having been able to get it up, to keep it up, and to get it in. The silence is deafening. The silence is there deafening. And you're there frustrated, feel shame, and maybe a little bit anger. Yeah, I've been there. I know what that's like. I've been there and I know what that's like. And as far as those pills go, well, you gotta time those meds, man. You gotta time them. They only work for a few hours. That's right, they only work for a few hours. And if you had maybe one too many drinks or you and she fall asleep, boom, the window of opportunity closes. It's shut. And there you are, frustrated in the morning. Now, the erectile dysfunction also affects her in a very significant way. That's right. You may not know it, but it does affect her. She may be sitting there wondering, Is the ED because you don't find her attractive anymore? That's right. Is she not able to arouse you anymore? She's probably put on a few pounds, got some extra wrinkles that she didn't have in the past, and so she wonders. A little bit of lack of self-confidence also. Or she may wonder, have you substituted her with porn? Do you have a porn addiction that she doesn't know about? And by the way, men that watch a lot of porn, they have significant ED issues because they don't respond normally to sexual stimuli. And this is especially true for younger men. Or she may also wonder, is he seeing someone else? Is he cheating on me? That's right, is he cheating on me? There also may be another thing going on in your life. Something that you're not really aware of because it happens so slowly. It happens so slowly in men. And that happens to be low testosterone. Because it creeps up on men. It creeps up men because of age and also because of their fitness and other things that are going on in their life. And it affects your sex drive. So you may want to have sex, but maybe the drive isn't as strong as it used to be. What most men don't know is that there's a generational decline in testosterone levels. And it's been documented in a number of studies, including the male normative aging study, where they look at testosterone levels at men over several decades. And the lab values, well, the high normal has dropped and the low normal has dropped. That's right. A man 60 years old, 20 years ago, had 15% more testosterone than a man 60-year-old today. That's significant. And testosterone is a big factor in the quality of a man's life. I can attest that from personal experience. I've been on testosterone optimization for over 25 years. And by the way, more likely than not, your primary care physician is not going to give you what you need. You have to find doctors. And we're talking about how to find those doctors in the Standard Academy. That's right. Testosterone has a big impact on your life. It has a big impact on keeping muscle mass on. It has a big impact on keeping fat off. It has a big fact on being decisive. It's a big factor in your bone density. And as importantly, what I found from times I've gone off of it for not very long, it affects your mood. It affects your mood big time. For me, testosterone is a monster antidepressant. It's a monster antidepressant. Think about that. Remember that old movie with Walter Matthau? Grumpy Old Men? Yeah, you see them all the time. No energy, depressed. Because many of them suffer from low testosterone. And by the way, there's a thing called endocrine disrupting compounds that are affecting men in ways that they don't understand. And it's happening to younger and younger men too. That's right. Younger and younger men are having issues with their testosterone. You may be really out of shape. And for that reason, you're not able to fully participate in the fun activities with your family. Hiking, biking, playing frisbee, all of that. Yeah, maybe you participate a little bit, then you huff and puff and you have to go sit down. And there you are, vicariously living your family life. You're a spectator in your own family's life. And you can't do anything about it. And yeah, after a while, well, at the beginning, they would start asking you to participate, but now they don't even bother. They don't even bother because they know you can't do it. Believe me, I know what that's like. I know what that's like because I became a father much later in life, much later than most people. I was 45 years old when my wife had our first child. And I was at the fattest stage of my life. My father had been in the ICU for 3 months. My daughter was being born, and I was riding the little tram car between different areas of the hospital. And I was fat. My life consisted of drinking, alcohol, and eating bad food. So I had to make a decision. Was I going to be a grandfather or an active father in my kid's life? I chose to be a father, active father. And because of that, I've had many great experiences with my family. And even after the age of 65, I got a chance to hike the mountains of Iceland, the snowy mountains of Iceland. Believe me, that was a workout in the snow with my eldest daughter. And with my youngest daughter, well, we went to New Zealand and we hiked up and down hills carrying 50-pound packs for 4 days. If I had not chosen to be an active father, I would never, ever have had any of those great experiences with my kids. What's it going to take for you to schedule a discovery call to find out if the Standard Academy Accountability Program is right for you? Don't lie to yourself. People notice if you are in shape or out of shape. I have a friend of mine named Bob, who lost 140 pounds. It's hard to imagine losing 140 pounds, but he maintained consistent daily action and did it and kept it off. And he told me that it was very obvious. It was very obvious how people interacted with him when he was in shape and out of shape. And he's a high-powered CEO of a company whose name you would recognize. But he knows the difference. Now, some of you may be suffering from financial issues. That's right, from financial issues. You don't like the house you live in, you drive a crappy car that breaks down, and you probably take crappy vacations with your family. Yeah, that are full of stress because you're worried about incidental expenses. There you are at SeaWorld. You've just gotten off that ride. That's right, you've just gotten off that ride. And of course, they parade you through the store. And there's the wand for $55 that probably costs 25 cents to make in China. And your kids want that. They want the t-shirts, they want the wand, they want the pictures. They want the pictures from the ride, the memories. And then you walk out, and of course, sodas, hot dogs, cotton candy, ice cream, whatever. All of a sudden starts racks up. $100 here, $100 there, $100. Next thing you know, it's $1,000, maybe a little bit more than $1,000. And you're worried about the money that you're spending. Or maybe you're on a budget. A budget is not a nice word. Being on a budget is not a nice word. And your wife or significant other, who's mostly likely the person doing the shopping, the food shopping, has to go to the store and make decisions about what they buy. Especially now, especially during these times with inflation being so high. Hamburger or steak. Maybe you can always buy steak, but now you have to maybe go back and forth. Or you have limitations about what you can do for your family, what you can do for your kids, what kind of schools you can send them to. That's right. Maybe you don't like the school they're going to, but you're trapped. You can't afford to send them to that school that you want to send them to. You can't provide those experiences that you want for them. Or you may even have issues with your health. And you hear about all these wonderful regenerative medicines that are out there. And they're great. I've had an opportunity to use some of them myself. They're great and they work. The challenge is your insurance does not cover them. And more likely than not, your primary care physician doesn't prescribe them. You have to find regenerative doctors. That's right. You have to find regenerative doctors. And they don't take insurance either. That's right. They want cash. That's right. They want cash. Now, I always find this funny. There's a group of people that will pontificate, and they will tell you with a great deal of surety, that money can't buy happiness. Yeah, money can't buy happiness. And remember, money is the root of all evil. No, that's the wrong phrase. It's the love of money that is the root of all evil. Not money is the root of all evil. But they'll tell you, money can't buy happiness. That's right, money can't buy happiness. Well, I'll agree. There are some people that have lots of money that are unhappy. But the people that tell you money can't buy happiness, well, it's a story that they're telling you. They're telling this story to you. They're telling the story to you and to themselves to make themselves feel better, make you feel better. Because they don't know if it can buy happiness because they have no money. They don't know because they have no money. So how can they tell you about something and with a great deal of surety about something that they don't know about? Now, because of my wife's business and what she does, my wife sells middle market companies, $5 million to $100 million range. And we get to meet a lot of entrepreneurs who built up a business and then they sell it. And they have this thing that they refer to as fuck you money. Yeah, fuck you money. Fuck you money is when you make enough money and you have enough money in the bank, usually millions of dollars, where you don't really care what anyone thinks. That's right. You don't really care. You're not beholden to anyone. That's right. You're not beholden to anyone. And as importantly, let me say one thing that is true. Absolutely true. Money is the fuel of life. 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 And some of you, well, you may be in good financial health. That's right, you may be in good financial health. And from the outside, it looks like you got it dialed in. People want your life. That's right. You got the trophy wife, you got the house, you got the cars, you got the vacations, you got the clothes, you got everything you want. At the same time, when you look a little deeper, your life's not working out. Your relationships with your significant other, with your wife, are a shit show. You're arguing all the time. You're arguing all the time about all sorts of crazy stuff. And your kids, they either hate you and disrespect you, or they don't even know who you are. They don't know what's going on in your life, and you don't know what's going on in their life. That's right. You don't know what's going on in their life. And your relationships are a shit show. There you are, sitting in first class. I love sitting in first class. You get that drink before you take off, while everyone else is filing in to get their seats. You're relaxed, have another drink, and you're sitting there wondering, I'm making all this money providing everyone's getting what they want, but why is my life not working out? Why don't I have the joy and happiness in my life that I want? That is the wrong question to ask. That is not a solutions-oriented question. It is the wrong question to ask. Now, money does not guarantee that you are physically fit. That's right, that you are physically fit, that you are healthy. So you go see your doctor. Your doctor says, I'm worried about your heart, I'm worried about your cholesterol, I'm worried about your blood pressure, and your inflammation. And maybe some other things are going on. That's right, maybe some other things are going on. And he has this he's got this very serious conversation with you. And a few things may happen. First, you may blow him off completely because actually none of this stuff really hurts. Yeah, it doesn't really hurt. So you go like, I'll get around to it when I'm not so busy at work. Or you may decide, okay, I'm gonna tackle this, I'm gonna work on this. And you get on course for a few days, a few weeks, and then you fall off the track. You fall off the programs because you have no way of keeping yourself accountable with the small daily actions that are needed to make changes in your life. Yeah, and you make no progress. Now, it's not uncommon for a man to be found dead at his desk. There he is, slumped over his computer, dead. And the money doesn't matter at that point. It does not matter at all. Now, the setbacks in your life have taken you off course and you don't know what to do. You've tried programs and they haven't worked. That's right, you've tried programs and they don't work. And you just don't know what to do. You're frustrated, you're overwhelmed. That's right, you're frustrated and overwhelmed. Or some of you, well, things may be going good. Yeah, things may be going good. Things may actually be going good. You got dialed in. You got dialed in on the family. You got dialed in on the fitness. And you got dialed in on the finances. But one thing's happening is that, well, you put everything into autopilot. That's right, autopilot, just keep it going. It'll just keep itself going. Well, it doesn't. It doesn't. And you are in a danger zone and don't even realize it. Because if you don't keep on putting in consistent daily effort into those 3 areas of your life, well, you're going to start going backwards. And next thing you know, your very good life is going to go to good. And your good life is going to go to fair. And then your fair life is going to go to poor to shit show. That's right. And next thing you know, well, your families and friends, they're going like, what happened? They seemed so happy. That's right. They seem so happy. They're getting a divorce. I'm surprised. What happened? You were in a danger zone and didn't even realize it. That's right. You did not realize that you were in a danger zone. Good is the enemy of great. Good is the enemy of great because it lulls you into a false sense of security. A false sense of security. You're lost and have been lost for a while, and you don't know what to do. And you don't know what to do. As I've said before, you've tried programs, stayed on for a while, and then gotten off track because there was no system to help you stay accountable to yourself. That's right. Well, the first thing that you have to remember, the first thing that you have to admit is that you and you alone are responsible for the condition of your life. No one else. No one else is responsible. And we're way, way, way past that time when you can blame your parents, your siblings, teachers, coaches, that little league coach that didn't let you be pitcher, whatever. You need to take responsibility for the condition of your life. Listen to the voice in your head. Listen to the voice. It's not speaking loudly. It's speaking quietly. But listen to the voice in your head that says, there must be more. I want more. There is more. That's right. Listen to that voice. Listen to it carefully. Do not ignore it. Are you still here? Are you still listening? If you are, then I know that you are looking for a solution. You're looking for an answer. You are looking for a way out of where you are right now. You're looking for something that's going to help you stay on track, to help you stay accountable to yourself. The path, the answer, is the Standard Academy Accountability Program. This is a program that I've carefully crafted based on over my 60 plus years of experiences on this earth. It's comprised of what has not worked, and more importantly, of what has worked. And believe me, I've had my ups and downs. I've had my ups and downs and gotten off track and had to get myself on track. And there are times that I have given up. Like many men, I've given up, but only for a short time. That's right, only for a short time. I was not willing to live a life of complacency. I was not willing to live a life of scarcity. I was not willing to live a life where I was not the best version of myself that I could be. And consequently, even with all the setbacks I've had many successes because I had continued to listen to the voice in my head that said, there must be more. There must be more. There must be more. Acknowledge that voice in your head. Acknowledge that feeling that you have. Acknowledge that drive that you have. And the setbacks, there have been many in my life. Some of them not that long ago. That's right, some of them not that long ago. There were times in my periodontal practice when during a recession, I did not have funds to make payroll. That's right. And there were several recessions that we worked through including the last one that started in 2007, which was a monster recession. And so, because it was my responsibility, I had to go dip into my savings, or if there weren't any savings, to use credit cards to bridge the gap so that my payroll checks wouldn't bounce. Not pleasant. Not pleasant running a business during a recession. And it wasn't pleasant running a business during COVID. That's right. Lots of businesses did not survive. That's right. Lots of businesses did not survive. I remember one Christmas I'd gotten a camel hair sport coat from Saks Fifth Avenue. It was very expensive. I'd always wanted a camel hair sport coat. It was something that I really liked. I used to like to really dress up a lot. I used to dress up a lot more than I do now. But I got this Christmas present. But I did not have money for rent. I did not have the money to pay my rent. And I had to return that Christmas present so I wouldn't get evicted from my apartment. To this day, I still don't own a camel hair sport coat. It still affects me in a very emotional way. There are times that I came home to see the utility disconnect notice, bright orange, taped to my front door. Yeah, embarrassing because you see it. It's very embarrassing to get threatened to have your utilities cut off. And also your neighbors get to see it. Yeah, your neighbors get to see that also. It's right there. I had loans called when I didn't have any cash. And there was a time very early in my marriage with my wife that we were sitting there celebrating dinner. We were celebrating her birthday with a dinner at a not so expensive restaurant, actually a very cheap restaurant. And I was worried about whether my credit card would clear because it was maxed out. And I was worried what I would do if it didn't clear. There was a time that I got sued early in my periodontal career, 2 years after I was out of my residency. That was a life-altering event. It was a life-altering event. And it wasn't a lot of fun to have a television crew show up at your office or have your name in the paper with the story that you lost a large litigation, which eventually was overturned. That's right, eventually it was overturned. That was a life-altering event for me. And most recently, I had an ostomy done. Now, some of you may not know what an ostomy is, but let me tell you what it is. It's where they cut your intestine from your colon, and they create a hole in your stomach that you shit out of. And there's no control of when you shit because there's no sphincter. So you just shit whenever the shit comes out. And it's supposed to go in the bag, or at least that's the theory. But when I got this bag, no one was able to show us how to keep it on. And for 3 weeks, my mornings consisted of me waking up, shitting on myself for a couple hours, and my wife being the angel cleaning it up. It was a hard road for us. It was very challenging in many ways. We eventually got the bag to stick, which allowed us to go out and not be homebound. And eventually, I got everything put back together again. But there was something I was very worried about when I was going through this. Very significantly worried. And this happens to men, especially older men. You see them in the gym or walking or whatever, and they're vibrant, they're full of energy and everything. And then something happens to them physically, something happens to their health. And next thing you know, they become decrepit. They're a shadow of who they were. And they never gain it back. I was very concerned with becoming decrepit. And I had to have a plan, a course of action to prevent me from becoming decrepit, which I have been successful at. That's right, which I have been successful at. So like you, I've had my setbacks, my embarrassment, my challenges, all the things that I thought like, well, what do I do? And remember, no matter how bad things are, they can get worse. That's right. No matter how bad things are, they can get worse. The standard accountability program exists for those people that say, I want more out of my life. I want more, and I know there's more, and I'm willing to work for it. That's right, I'm willing to work for it. The standard accountability program consists of, first, the what. What do you truly want? Not stuff that you kind of wish for, but what do you truly want? Secondly, it consists of the why. Why do you want those things? Why are you going to put in the effort, the energy, and the money to get those things? That's right. The why. And then the how. The how is often where people start. And those that start with the how, they're screwed because they're starting in the wrong place. Now, let me repeat those because they're very important. They are simple to do. They are simple, but they're difficult. It's difficult to do because it requires consistent daily action. And that's where people fall off the tracks. Consistent daily action. So let me review the what. You need to be able, with a great deal of clarity and specificity, articulate what you want. That's right. What do you want? Most people can't do that. Can you? You have to be able to articulate to yourself, to your significant other, and at the same time, you need to lead your significant other in the process of them being able to clearly articulate what they want. That's right. You need to help them clearly articulate what they want. And you know what? You may be surprised because there's going to be a lot of things that both of you want that you're going to be able to keep each other on track to getting. The why? The why is, well, why are you going to put in all this effort? Why? Well, we want things for the feelings that they're going to give us. That's right. We want things for the feelings that they're going to give us. You want that fancy car. Maybe you want that Ferrari for God knows why, because they're a pain in the ass to have. Maybe you want a Ferrari because you want the feeling, the power of the engine, the rumble, the sound, the wind going through your hair, if you have any hair, or past your face. You want the attention that you get from people looking like, hey, that's a cool car. I want to have that car. And then, lastly, the how. At that point, once you got the what and once you got the why in place, you get to the how. And the how, well, a lot of times the how will change because you discover that what you're doing is not getting you to where you want to go. And you have to make pivots. That's right, you have to be nimble and make pivots. And by the way, sometimes the what changes because you've changed. You and your significant other have changed. So the what can change also. Now, you see this at seminars all the time. You see this at seminars. During the break, people in the audience will go and rush the speaker. The speaker wants to go to the bathroom. They want to go take a leak or a dump. They want some water and they want to clear their head for a little bit so they can go on speaking. But no, they got all these people they're going and they're asking how. And the reality of the situation is that even if they were told the how, and the speaker tells them the how, they can't pull it off because they don't have the foundational skills necessary to pull it off. You need to develop the foundational skills to pull stuff off. And most people don't take the time to do that. And we do that in the Standard Accountability Program. Now, the how. You can watch all sorts of videos on YouTube about how to ski a double black diamond. That's right. Or snowboarding or whatever. You can watch all sorts of videos about where to put your poles, how to ride the edges of your skis. You can get all that information about where to put your poles, the edges on your skis, all that, head over the top of the skis, all that information on there. But if you've never been down a green or a blue, you don't stand a chance. All that information is not going to help you. Knowledge without action and foundation is useless unless you happen to be a contestant on Jeopardy. Okay? That's about the only place that kind of knowledge is going to come useful. you have to build the foundational skills. Why is the Standard Academy accountability program different from other programs out there? Well, let me tell you about the other programs out there. Like you, I've been to lots of seminars. That's right, lots of seminars. Lots of them with really great information. That's right, really great information. I've been to Tony Robbins several times, other seminars, and they've been great. They've been great, and they have lots of great content. That's right, lots of great content. And you go in there and you got your notebook, a little journal that they probably gave you. It's got the logo on it. It's usually black. And a pen. They gave you a pen, gave you a journal, pen. Maybe even a t-shirt. And you walk into that room and there's music blaring. Classic rock usually. You know, AC/DC, all that good stuff. And the energy in that room is palpable. You can feel it. Everyone else is excited about being there. You're excited, they're all excited about being there. And all sorts of crazy stuff goes on in that room. You know, you pound your chest, you look intently into someone else's eyes and tell them all stuff that's like really important. That's right, really important. You yell, you do burpees, you dance, pound on the tables, and maybe, like I did at Tony Robbins event, I walked on coals. That was really cool. Yeah, I got a chance to walk on coals. And so you're there for days and you're meticulously taking notes, information. That's right, taking notes, information, doing it for several days. That's right, you got pie charts. You got boxes with things filled in, arrows pointing over here, bullet points. You got a line drawn down one piece of paper, positive, negative, all filled in. You're doing all the work there. You're taking action. That's right. You're doing all the work where you take action. And so you leave all jacked up, motivated. Motivated. That's right. Motivated. You gotta stay motivated. Now, motivation doesn't hold. No, motivation doesn't hold. Accountability holds, but motivation doesn't hold. So you get home. And you're greeted by your significant other, maybe your kids. And they weren't there. So they ask you what happened. And not infrequently, I know this has happened to me many times, I can't really explain what happened. I can maybe a little bit, but I can't really explain what happened because so much of it was experiential. That's right, and you can't really explain what happened. And so you may have dinner, you may have a drink, you may visit, kind of wind down a little bit, and then you do this. You take those notes, that journal, all that stuff that you worked on so meticulously, so feverishly over the last several days, and you put it on a bookshelf. That's right, you put it on a bookshelf. And there it sits, untouched for years, except for the dust that's collected on it. And that's why most of these programs don't work, because there's nothing there to support consistent daily action after you're done getting the information. There's nothing there to support consistent daily action after you're done getting the information. And that's why those programs don't work. That's why those programs don't work. And that's the difference between the Standard Accountability Program and other programs out there. We provide support. We help you keep yourself accountable on a long-term basis. Accountability is the cornerstone to getting what you want, to keep you on course, to maintain the consistent daily action. That's right, to maintain the consistent daily action that's necessary to create the results that you want in your life. That's right, accountability. Now, group accountability works. It works for a number of reasons. First, well, there's a tendency that if someone in the group is succeeding, you tend to believe that you can succeed. That's right, that you can be successful. Also, there's pressure on you from other members of the group to stay on track. That's right. And there's a bit of competition. Competition is good. That's right. Competition is good, and don't let anyone tell you that's bad. Also, you may be able to learn something from someone else in the group there may be a problem or a challenge that you have that's not too dissimilar from another person that they've already actually found a solution for. Something that's worked that they may share with you. That's right. And there's something to be said about being among a group of men who want to be the best version of themselves that they want to be, that they can be. Remember, as the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. That's very true. Pick who you hang with very carefully. And accountability programs work because, well, you will be able to clearly articulate to yourself and other members of the group what you want with specificity. With specificity, you're going to be able to articulate the what, the why, and the how. And because of that, you are also going to be able to articulate that to your significant other, which will move you forward. Now, this accountability group is going to be a small group. And I made it a small group for a specific reason. There's not going to be any place to hide. That's right. There's not going to be any place to hide. It's going to be highly interactive. Highly interactive with me and other members of the group. There will be no place to get lost in the herd. No place to get lost inside the herd. Now, I'm only interested in working with men that are truly committed. They're truly committed to changing the course of their life. Because it's going to take time, effort, and a financial investment on your part to make this happen. At this point in my life, I have more days behind me than I do ahead of me. And I'm not interested in being around men who are not committed to being the best version of themselves that they can be. That's right. I pick who I hang with very carefully here and in my personal life. Now, you are going to be asked some very hard questions. That's right, some very hard questions. And some of them are going to be uncomfortable. Yep, uncomfortable. And that is where the magic is. In the answers to those uncomfortable questions. Now, you are going to be asked to set targets going to take you out of your comfort zone. That's right, out of your comfort zone. At the same time, they're not going to be bullshit targets that you have no chance of ever hitting. People do that and they set themselves up for failure because they set these totally bullshit goals. That's right. They say, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. It ain't going to happen. Yes, people, well, what do you want? Quite often, they have that deer in the headlights look. They can't articulate clearly what they want. And they set goals that are totally unreasonable. They underestimate what they can do in 5 years, but way overestimate what they can do in 1 year. That's right. And they say, well, I want to be like Elon Musk. Dude, the man's a unicorn. He's a unicorn. You are not going to be like Elon Musk. You are not going to be a billionaire. I am not going to be a billionaire. At the same time, you can significantly change the course of your life to make it unrecognizable by taking small, consistent daily actions over a significant course of time. Over a significant course of time. The accountability program is focused on solutions. The 80-20 rule, the 90-10 rule, whatever you want to follow. But the majority of time is spent on solutions. We're going to spend a little time on the problems so we can clearly identify them. But the majority of time is spent on solutions. This is not therapy. This is not some bullshit therapy session where you spend the majority of time reliving, well, traumas in your early life. They're irrelevant to getting the results that you want now. They are irrelevant. Are you ready now Are you ready now to get out of the web of no results? Are you ready to take responsibility for yourself? Are you ready to get the results that you want in your life, that you're seeking, to have the quality of life that you have imagined for yourself and your family? Are you ready to take a responsibility? Are you? Is the pain enough now in your life? Is the pain now enough in your life for you to take action? What has to happen for you to schedule a discovery call? Yeah. What has to happen for you to schedule a discovery call? You and only you are responsible for conditioning your life. Are you ready to reclaim your masculinity? Are you ready to reclaim your future? Are you ready to reclaim yourself? Are you ready to reclaim you? No one is coming to save you. That's right. No one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. Is the answer yes or no? Yes or no? And if you say maybe, it's a no. Are you ready? Are you ready to reclaim your masculinity? Are you ready to reclaim your future? Are you ready to reclaim yourself? Are you ready to reclaim you? Yes, you. No one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. Are you ready to take action? Are you ready to change the course of your life? Are you ready to do what's necessary to keep yourself accountable on a regular basis, on a daily, consistent basis to get the results that you want? Are you? Are you ready to take action now? Are you ready to change the course of your life? Well, now's the time for you to take action. What I want you to do next is to click on the link and schedule your discovery call. Don't wait, don't hesitate, don't procrastinate. Do it now.
What I want you to do now is click on the link to schedule your discovery call. Don't wait, don't hesitate, don't procrastinate. Do it now.